All right, folks.
All right, welcome to the Brilliant Dumb Show. I'm Robbie Berger.
The Brilliant Dumb Show. Very good there, TC. Now bringing in the home team podcast. Now road, Sophie, TC, the secret weapon, Joey Cold Cuts as well. Ladies, we covered a lot last time, and we all said we got to have a round 2. Did we not?
We had so much fun last time, and we were like, anytime you want us back on the show, we're running towards it. So here we are.
And that's what we're doing.
Also, I heard that you did a poll and our name came up all the time.
What?
Very true. I said, what do you guys
Really?
want to see with the show? What do you guys want on the Brilliant Dumb Show? And it did come up, the home team podcast, ladies.
There
and
we
here we
go.
are.
You know.
The boys wanted us back. They got a lot of insight out of us last
Yeah.
time. Too much
They really
insight.
did.
No, it was good. The feedback was great too. I think it's seeing things from a different perspective is always good, especially we're very male dominant, demographics. So it's good to see a female perspective.
And again, we bring in our secret weapon here, Tyler Cameron, getting ready to rock and roll here. Now, we did texting last time. We did texting etiquette last time. Sophie had an encounter with a woolly mammoth of a penis that did come up as well too. That we ended up bringing up.
Okay, you guys did me so dirty with that social clip. I was like, I will never repost this in my entire life. Okay, can I just clarify for you guys in the room, because you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Basically, years ago, I had an encounter. I was seeing this guy. We didn't do anything, and then when we finally, we can't do this. Come on. When we finally did, it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. So I never did anything with him. I was like, you have sex with girls? Like,
Wait, he sent you a picture of it first?
No, I saw it in person.
Oh, you saw it in person?
Like, we'd gone to dinner a lot. He had cooked for me. He'd been to my parents' house. I went to and then finally, it came out, and I was like, what? Like, this, no. I was like, I can't work with this. And I basically told them how, like, we were basically telling the guys on the show that, like, too big, every guy wants a huge dick, and we're like, no, girls don't actually want that. Like, you want something you can actually work with.
Well, you guys not sorry. Yeah.
Okay, well, we talked about it last time, so I just needed to clarify for the other guys in the room. Like, this wasn't like a sex talk. It was literally like, I'm never going near that, and I never did.
Now,
Yeah.
what we'll do is, and we'll let that definitely flow in. The raunchy stuff, I'm sure, will end up coming, especially with the tequila flowing as it is. We're going to start light on you guys for a sec, okay? First question I have for you guys. Cleanliness. Let's talk a little bit cleanliness, okay? Now, us as guys, a lot of times we don't know if somebody's going to be coming to the place. Usually, sometimes if we do know, we're able to get it clean. At what point does cleanliness become a turnoff if it's not enough? If it's either too clean, too dirty, when does that become a turnoff?
We have really strong opinions about this. We actually just discussed this again today. We basically beat it to a pulp. You start.
I think it's a huge deal, but what are you asking? You're saying what's the threshold?
I think
Tell them the things that we talk about that we hate. Like, if you walk into a dude's apartment, this is like a red flag.
Like, if I'm trying to sit on the couch and there's all this laundry there, it's annoying. Or like, what did we say? Like the toothbrush.
Okay, I have a very controversial opinion, but like I stand by it really strong. If you're over the age of 23 and you do not make your bed in the morning, and I know most people don't, but I think it's disgusting. Like, I don't want to show up and their bed is like the sheets crumpled at the bottom and the mattress pad coming off. Like, I like a clean bed, and she does not like. Tell them what you said on the show you don't like
About them.
today. What?
Well, I talked to you about this, Robbie. I had an encounter where I walked in to a man's bedroom, and his bed was inside of a cave, like the house like dipped down, and it was just like a shell of a unit, and there was no bed frame, and I literally was like, I gotta go, and I
What
left.
part of town was this in?
Literally, it was like the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Like, everything was going great. We were dating, we were happy, whatever. After I saw the mattress touching the carpet, I was like, I'm out. Like, I literally will never sleep with you on here.
So my question is, okay, if you see somebody the first couple times, right, and the place is clean, at what point do you get comfortable enough with somebody where, listen, I have a girl over, I don't need to wash my sheets every time she comes over. I don't need to like do the dishes, or there's maybe a few glasses in the sink. At what point do you get where you're comfortable enough where you come over and you're not like, oh damn, so and so's coming over, I gotta like spend an hour cleaning my place before she gets there.
If it's too clean the first time, if everything's too immaculate, do you expect that moving forward every single time you come?
Yeah,
that's the only issue that I have with that.
No. We're talking first impressions. Like,
Yeah.
I think your first impression, if you know the girl's coming back to your place for the first time, tidy up, make your bed. If you're dating someone and you come back and there's stuff on the ground, like, it's not a big deal. But I personally like people who make their beds. Like, I would hope that I can make this person maybe into a person that can make their bed, because I know some guys don't like to, but I think it's like a good way to start your day. It makes you feel productive. Like, it's nice coming home to a clean bed. I personally, but yeah, you can like let it go a little bit.
Yeah.
Once you start hanging out more. But first impressions are huge. Girls actually notice a lot of that kinds of stuff. Hygiene. Like, okay, so I know, do you guys notice when you go into a girl's bathroom and there's makeup like all over the towel? Like, you would pick
terrible.
up on that.
Like, what do you call it? Like the
Also,
face.
the trash can is what I look at.
Tampons,
Very
like,
Trash
interesting.
cans.
Yeah.
I look at.
Very
Do you
interesting.
guys go into cabinets?
no, I don't care.
The trash
No?
can in the tub, like tub shower.
The perimeter
look
of
at
the
that.
tub
Yeah.
interior.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
important.
you look at the tub
I
interior.
don't, but he just pointed out it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'll close the shower. I have a sliding
Oh, yeah,
shower
you have a
door.
curtain, that's
so
key.
nobody's opening that. If they are, then they're
You know, another thing I
really
don't get
digging
is
deep.
Like, let me just check the tile.
Yeah, if they do that,
I have a
then
question for you guys. Like, where did you guys make your bed this morning?
I did.
So, you know what? When she said it, I was thinking it. I did not.
I did, but I normally
Yeah,
don't.
You
I'll
made
be
your
honest.
bed?
I felt bad. I'm staying at my buddy's place, and it was made when I got there. I was like, I better have it made in case he comes by. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm impressed. I would not take you for someone who makes their bed.
I'm usually
Shots
not.
Okay.
fired.
Yeah, I'm
That's a
usually
different
not.
No,
story,
it's not.
though.
It's not in a mean
It's
way.
alright,
I just.
it's alright.
If you're
She said
staying
she just said
somewhere-
it was disgusting a minute ago. now it's it's
God forbid,
don't take
Tyler's
you-
not
she
making
basically
the bed.
said,
We can
"You're
let that
disgusting."
slide.
I think
If
you're
I did it,
disgusting
cold
guy.
cuts. Oh God.
Let me ask you something, TC, on your end, okay? You go back to a lady's place, Lord knows you have once or twice in your day, and it's a pigsty. Do you have a big issue with that? Is that a big turnoff for Tyler Cameron?
I don't think I've encountered a pigsty though, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah,
Not
good.
I've
Not-
encountered a pigsty.
Really?
My question for you guys: when's the last time you guys washed your sheets?
I did 2 weeks ago, and that was because I knew a girl was coming over, and I said, okay, you know what? It's probably been a couple months. I'm gonna wash the
Wow,
sheets.
wait. A
But
couple
I was-
months?
Yeah, a couple months.
I mean, we gotta work on that. That's
So
not
what is
okay.
what's the time frame that you need to be
I
washing
think
your
once
sheets?
a week is
question.
healthy.
Once a week? I
Yes.
do normally once a month or
No.
once every couple
What
months.
could we get away with?
I
Where do you
base
draw
off
the
of how
line?
white the sheet is not getting.
Mine has a pattern on it, so it's not like it's all stained or anything, you know?
You
I
know-
just think it's a good habit as we all get older to just like wash the sheets once a
Once a week.
Once a week. So I'll,
I gotta
I,
check.
I
and
agree.
by the way,
it's just
I-
a lot. I don't even do laundry. once a week.
Yeah, once a week is
then
excessive.
you just buy a couple. I mean, it's not like you're rewashing the same one. Just buy a couple.
I get it, yeah.
You know what, too? You're always so happy you did. I mean, once you end up washing the sheets, once
That
you're on
fresh
it,
hair.
that fresh. I mean, it's hard to beat
There's
that.
nothing
feeling.
better than a fresh
I will
pair of
say the
underwear.
girl actually
But
commented.
for
She
me, it
said your
happens
bed
after
smells
so
so
often,
nice.
so I really-
That's good.
So it was
Just makes
definitely
it better that way.
worth the while.
Let me ask you something about pantries for a second.
Okay.
I want to talk pantries for a second.
Great transition.
Because I always, and I don't think girls have ever really appreciated the way I thought that they would when it comes to pantry. I always have a stocked pantry. How much do you counter that into somebody having a good pantry? For instance, if a guy's having you come out and drink tap water, as far as you know, you got to fill it up in the sink or whatnot, does that play into effect when you're seeing a guy
That's a
or
good question.
when you're seeing a gal? I got a great pantry.
What about your fridge? Is
I
your
wanna
fridge
see
stocked?
this.
That comes with the pantry.
Yeah, see, my fridge is bare bones.
Yeah, see that you go over,
That's
you
so
want a
off-brand,
bottle of
cold
water.
cuts.
I think I go out so much that if I buy food a lot of the time, I don't really cook, so my stuff goes off. But if a girl's coming by and I know, I'll buy stuff. So like, I had a girl over and I knew she liked Prosecco, so I'll buy a bottle of Prosecco and I'll buy like maybe like some popcorn or different things. So I have stuff when she's coming over, but my fridge is bare empty.
I've never gone through a guy's pantry. I don't think. Like, not
But
not
have
to
you-
burst
have
your
you-
bubble. I think it's awesome that
It's a
you
shame.
do stock your pantry. But like,
Shame.
I don't think girls go to a guy's place and they're like, let me search the kitchen.
But have you been dating a
So-
guy that had a good
Yes,
pantry?
bad pantry.
There we go. And
Yeah.
now here we are.
Well, yeah,
living to tell the
because when I
tale.
used to go visit my ex, during the day, I'd be like, I'm hungry. There's nothing in the fridge. It's only restaurants. I'm like, you got to keep something in the house.
It's true.
Nothing. So that's key. You're right.
There's something to say though about a guy just having like a nice welcoming home. Like if you have bottled water versus tap, like I think it's nice to come home to a man's house that has stuff. Snacks, drinks.
Stocked bar.
Mhm.
Robbie's your guy, apparently.
Yeah.
Clearly, absolutely. TC, how's your pantry look? You're not a big
I've
pantry
had like
guy?
8 people living in my house. The pantry doesn't exist no more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
it's been destroyed.
a pantry guy.
Wait,
either.
Basics.
I have a question. When it was like all of you guys living at that house, like your
Yeah.
brothers and all, who grocery shops?
We didn't really grocery shop much. I guess like Brown Bear did. Brown Bear
Like
and Chris
someone
grocery
has
shop.
to
But like
buy food.
I'm the same way as you. Like I just eat out.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bad habit.
That's a bad habit.
I like unless Jack Arnold sends me some steaks.
It's a
That's
whole
one time I
different-
did
Just
really.
make
You
sure
know
you
what I
throw
mean?
those babies out before you put them on.
Exactly.
And then you're good to go.
So I mean I grill. That's it.
That's what every guy just grills all the time.
He's a man's man.
Such a manly man.
Let me ask you guys another question, okay? They say, some people say looks don't matter and it's all about personality, all of that stuff. Here's where I would counter with that, okay? Let's say you guys are at a bar and a Tyler Cameron type character comes walking in, okay? How bad of a personality would Tyler have to have for you to not hook up with him? I mean, let's just say Tyler comes up and just brings nothing to the table, but then you got Tyler's looks. How bad of a personality would he have to have for you to say no?
You go first.
Take a real good look. Take a real good
I
look.
do. You're very handsome. But I used to work in a bar, so I have like experiences with dealing with a lot of people. To me, I have very strong douchebag vibes.
From
So-
me?
No.
I guess that answers the question, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, like, I'm good at picking up on douchebag vibes. Like,
Okay.
maybe I should say, like, my sensory. What do I say?
Basically, if a guy came to order a drink, you could pick up on the fact if
Yes.
they were a douchebag or not within.
What does he
seconds.
do when he goes to
Immediately.
order a drink to
It's
make it
just
a
a
douchebag?
feeling. I just
Yeah.
get it in my bones.
It's a
like, I
sixth
just
sense.
know. I can't even put it. I just can feel it.
Like he
and
doesn't
so,
say please.
No, like a guy that's just trying to like show off or be cool, I see that as insecurity, so I can just sense stuff right away. That stuff to me, regardless of looks, I'm like out 100%.
If you had to put a percentage on looks to personality, what's your percentage?
I think if you have a bad personality, then you're no longer attractive to me, so I can't really put a percentage on
That's
it.
pretty good.
Phenomenal.
But you know the
It's
thing
true.
is,
It's the same. Okay, so have you guys ever been with a hot girl that her personality sucks and you have no interest anymore? It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a guy could be smoking hot. We will forgive. We will overlook. Oh, I know what I'm going to talk about. So we will overlook certain things for a little bit, but then eventually you're like, well, I don't really take this person seriously. But we call this new thing of like when you're into a guy that you know you shouldn't be because they suck but they're hot. It's called falling into the dick sand. Like the quicksand, like you can't get out. Like you're literally trapped. Like you should not be continuing to hang out with this guy, but like fuck, he's hot, you know? Like it's
like
one of
the
those
dick
things. You
sand.
fall into the dick
never
sand.
heard of that before.
That's because like you're bored.
Yeah, like you wouldn't actually girls know the difference between like who you would take seriously and who you're like, okay, well, I'll let this guy hang around. And guys do the same thing. I know so many guys that'll hang out with girls that are like models, and you know, we will look at their photos and be like, oh my god, like a girl will look at a certain girl and know that the guy that they're talking to is also talking to this girl, and you're like, fuck, she's a model, she's 1 million followers, whatever. And he's like, no, she's boring as fuck. She's bad.
I have a question, but I'll get to it.
No, late
No,
on us.
lay on us.
But it's totally off topic.
Go.
But my question is, like, we live in such an era where it's like the Instagram models and like the TikTok girls and whatever. I remember I was at my friend's house and we were looking at this photo of a girl, like this really hot girl. My friends and I were like, oh my god, she's so hot, blah, blah, blah. Like, and my boyfriend was like, you guys don't, like, guys don't see girls the way that you guys do. Like, they can just see, like, the plastic surgery, like this,
The
that.
girls
and
do,
then,
you're saying.
the guys can just see it, and some guys are just not into it. They're more into, like, the natural looking
Of course.
girl, whereas, like, girls will look at her and be like, oh my god, she's so hot. Like,
There's a
it's
fine
not a
line.
turn off to us, really.
I think there's a fine line. It's like any kind of surgery or procedure like that enhances someone's looks is great, but if it's too much to the point where it's like overly noticeable, it's not attractive.
You guys get turned off.
Yeah, like I mean,
See, here's
There
my
goes
thing.
our plan.
It's like I think whatever a girl wants to do to herself to make her as happy as she can be, like I'm all for it. You know what I mean? And if like I find her attractive, great. If I don't, I don't. You know what I mean? But like, so I look at a girl, like I look at like say you look at like, it's like Tinder basically, right?
Mhm.
You see a girl here, oh she's attractive, great. She's attractive, no. You know what I mean? And it's like oh well, she has plastic surgery. I don't care if she's attractive, great. She's not,
Yeah.
she's not. That's like I'm not gonna judge her because she did something to herself because
Right.
like people have things that they like that messes with them. You know, it's like if I don't get this done, like I'll never be fully happy with myself. So like it doesn't hurt nobody. So I don't judge. I think it's like it is what it is.
It's just
We
not for
that's
you.
a great answer,
Yeah.
by the way,
Very
because
good
me and Nara would always talk about this. So we always say that like if we had all the money in the world, like we would love to just like get so much shit done, and we kind of joke. Like we basically, there was a time where we were maybe going to be doing a TV show, and we're like, fuck, we need all the plastic surgery, and then Kevin's like, you guys are insane. And we're like, what? Like girls in their brain, like every girl knows if they had like, like all these celebrities, all the girls that everyone thinks are like the hottest girls on the planet, Google what they looked like before.
But also like we're also our own toughest critic. You know,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I saw something like where we think we're 10 times uglier than we actually are. You know what I mean?
Do guys?
I think there's a big divide between guys and women because guys are more comfortable in their skin, I think, naturally. Unless like you're like balding or something. Like most guys, you don't put foundation on. You don't do. You know what I mean? You get up, you shower, comb your hair, and you go out. Right? Like I think girls are a lot more tough on themselves. I think there's a higher standard
I
for.
think you'd be amazed too at what we don't see. I mean, there's so much.
You said something last time that was so funny. What did you say?
Just that I don't see a
But
lot.
I
of
also don't
shit.
think like I've heard before like tell me if this is true or not. Like girls don't do it for us; they do it for the other girls. Like they do it to look better than the other girls.
That's
like,
an
compete with
interesting
each other.
take
Good
right
take.
there.
They don't-
Ladies,
they don't
you're on
care
the
about
hot
what
seat.
we
Go
really
ahead.
think.
I definitely agree. I think you're right. And as sad as it is, I think you're right. It is a competition of like, you don't think so?
Try it.
No, I didn't mean to
You're shaking your head at me, and I don't like it.
we disagree. No, keep going.
I do. I think it is a competition. Like you go out and you see a hot girl, and then you're like, oh shit, like.
But like you
You
also
know?
wear things that like that girl's gonna notice you're wearing. We wouldn't know. I don't know what top that is or what
Yeah.
bag that is or whatever. But like like that girl over there is gonna know that you're wearing that. And, like you look good. You're stunning on her.
I'm sure that happens. I don't know if I've had that experience.
No.
But don't you think the time?
But you do notice. You told me you've only seen me wearing leggings and hoodies. No, but okay. So I'm kind of like, not like a boy, but I'm the same way. Like I wake up, I don't put makeup on. Like I'm wearing makeup because we're doing on camera. Like Naro knows. Like I will not come in here with anything. I don't like wearing makeup. But when I do wear makeup, it's for two reasons. One, I'm going to be filmed. Two, I want to look good for, like, dress up for myself. Like, I want to like, look different. Because, like, I'm used to seeing myself with no makeup on every day. Like, I've never, ever tried to look good for other girls. Like, my girlfriends we'll go to lunch and everyone's all dressed up and I will not wear makeup if I don't feel like wearing makeup. But, like, when I want to, like, look good, like I told you, I'm going away this weekend, 8 girls, and we're having a girls trip. Like, every girl wants to we want, like, an excuse to, like, dress up, feel hot, go out, like, get attention. Like, that's what you do it for. It's not like, I don't personally, but I don't think that means everyone.
It kind of makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
you
like,
do it for
it's
yourself.
Like it's like you walk out of the gym like you're feeling better about yourself. Like
Totally.
I'm gonna go
What
throw
about-
on a tank top and go to the beach. You know what I mean?
What about when you guys wear a
throw
tux?
the frisbee on the nanny. You know.
100%.
When you guys get all dressed up in, like, a tux, wear some cologne, whatever, do you feel, like, better about yourselves?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, you feel good.
Yeah.
But like even back to like and you guys said that you would get the surgery. Don't you think the time to stop getting a surgery is when you or a procedure is when you can tell that you got one. My thing is like some of these girls, you look at them and it's like, whoa, they got a lot of work
Lips are
done.
like five
That's
times too
what
big
my
and-
initial question was. Is that a turnoff? If you look
But-
at a girl and you're like, whoa, I can
Yeah.
tell.
If it's that
If they
visible,
have
I
duck
think no
lips and
doubt.
stuff like that, it's not like if it's noticeable. Like if it's noticeable, they put in a lot of work. And also too depends. Some girls get work done and it's really good, and some girls get work done and it's not good.
Yeah, all the people who have good work done are the ones that you think have no work done.
That's
like,
correct.
Like
yeah.
people are like, wow, like J-Lo, Jennifer Aniston, they don't age. It's like, You guys think that these people who just happen to be super famous got also blessed in the gene pool that once they hit 50, they still don't have a wrinkle on their face and they look flawless? Like, no, they have the best. What?
I believe it. Don't tell
No!
me about, don't tell me about Jennifer Aniston.
They have the,
Don't talk
they
about
have
her.
the
you know what?
best
That's
doctors.
what I'm kind of, you can't tell me
She's
that
also a smoker. Like, they have the best doctors.
Yeah, but her smoke is good for her. She has a special cigarette.
She's
Don't talk about
She's
it.
Special
big
cigarette.
Jennifer Aniston guy.
I saw her one time, bro. I almost quit this whole like entertainment stuff because like I was like my career is good. I'm done. I saw Jennifer Aniston. Like,
Where'd you see
I
her?
was at the People's Choice Awards. I was going to the bathroom, and all of a sudden security almost ran me over. You know, and I looked to the right down this hallway, and there's like this. It's like the lights are shining in. There's like like an angel is floating. You know, she came right through, and then I looked at her, and she goes, "Hey, oh my God, how are you?" I'm like, "Me?"
What do? You go
Did you
and
get
give her a
starstruck?
hug?
I was just like, hey, like, how are you? And I was like, holy shit. Like, Jennifer Aniston just, like, recognized me and
That's
said
so
hey to
cool.
me. I was like, I came back. I was like, yo, guys, I'm done. I'm good here. Like, I'm about to retire from all this stuff. I'm about to go back do construction. I don't need to do anything else no more. Like, my career's set.
TC, would you say that's, like, since all of this has happened to you, is that the most famous person you've met?
Taylor Swift, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, she's really famous.
Yeah. Taylor
Is she
Swift.
cool?
She's cool.
Okay, because, like, I love her music, but, like, she's not someone I would want to, like, hang out with on a weekend.
Right
No,
with
she's super sweet. I think she was cool.
Hmm.
And then, like you can tell by like how someone is by the people around her. Like, she had great people around her. Everyone was
Yeah.
super cool. So like that, like I think that resembles a good person. I met Shaq.
That's
Like,
That's a cool
Shaq's
one.
been here.
Yeah, like Shaq was so cool to me. That was like the little kid in me thinking that was the coolest thing ever. Like I was at the People's Choice Awards. Like besides Jennifer Aniston, the person I was so hyped to see was T-Pain. I was like, that's my Florida guy. Like
T-Pain.
screw everyone else. I went and shook up T-Pain's hand. Like I was like, that's the coolest thing I did here.
somewhere out there. T-Pain saying, "I saw Tyler Cameron."
No.
Fun fact, Cole
I wouldn't
Cuts
guess
is a
that
great
T-Pain knows who you
No,
are.
no.
Yeah, boy does he. Boy does. You go into these People's Choice Awards. Do you ever, like, when you go into the bathroom, you're wondering who you're going to be taking a piss next to? Because you got to think like everybody's somebody. No.
Yeah, no, there was no one there when I was taking a piss.
It was just you going solo on the piss?
It was an unglorified piss.
Folks, don't you go anywhere. Stay right with us. Who would I be if I didn't stop this show to remind you that the Brilliantly Dumb Show is brought to you by Raycon. Folks, treat your ears the way they need to be treated with the most premium product around, folks. Raycon's newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing. Folks, they do anything and everything over at Raycon. For a limited time, get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/dumb. D-U-M-B. That's buyraycon.com/dumb for a special 15% discount on Raycon wireless earbuds. Make sure to check it out now while the deal's running. Buyraycon.com/dumb. Moving on. By the way, even with the mattress thing, isn't that something that came up last time? You mentioned a mattress. Didn't you have a...
We have very strong opinions about mattresses. We can move on from that because we talk about it, like, way too much, but...
You have what?
We have very strong opinions about mattresses. Like, we just think that guys should, like, put your bed on a frame and have some sheets on your bed.
So we have to have a bottom sheet and a...
Yeah.
If I slept in your
what's
bed,
it called?
would
The
you have
ceiling.
a sheet covering the
It would
mattress?
just be a comforter.
Wait, what?
Is there something covering the actual mattress?
Sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a sheet that has the
Yeah.
scrunchy
Yeah,
stuff.
you have a
Yes,
sheet,
yes,
a
that's what we're
scrunchy
talking
sheet,
about.
then you have a bottom sheet,
A
and
scrunchy
then
sheet. We're saying just make sure you have a scrunchy sheet.
we have
Okay,
a
so
scrunchy
we can just have a comforter and a scrunchy sheet. And we're
Yeah,
good
yeah,
to go.
yeah. That's fine. As long as something's
Yes.
covering the actual mattress.
And the bed's gotta be made.
And there's a frame.
That's got to be made.
A lot of-
Yourself?
You're a bed maker now.
It's made right now.
That's hot.
So you see, while we got you here, and something that we all went back and forth on a lot, okay?
Uh-huh.
You go out to dinner with a gal, something we call the reach. Do you prefer, you're going to pay, gets brought up a lot
Yeah.
on our podcast, you're going to pay,
Yeah.
okay? First date. Do you want to see, when that check comes out, the girl that you're with at least make the intention?
It's a nice gesture.
Absolutely.
It's a nice
That's
gesture.
Great.
But like I always know like I'm paying like, and like I've gotten to the point where like I don't like, even whether they gesture or not, I don't really take it for much. But like it is a nice gesture to do at the end of the day. Like just reach.
Just
Yeah.
reach.
Just
But,
reach.
but like here's the thing. Like I was talking to one of my friends and she says like probably 4 out of the last 10 dates, the guys made her split it.
Whoa!
That happened to you.
No,
I'm like,
did she offer?
She offers, like, as like the gesture.
But he takes her up
But
on the
that's why
offer.
we tell girls, don't offer, because half these guys are being like, okay, sure.
But like that's
First
because
date,
guys,
first date.
there's so many losers right now. Like that's not cool.
Of
Like,
course it's not
Yeah.
cool, but and we're talking first date. Like, we don't think that the guy has to pay for everything always. But like, if a guy's asking you out on a first date,
I will.
why are we paying?
I will pay until we are exclusive, and like maybe down the road we figure something out. But like I remember like my first girlfriend, I paid for stuff all the time. Like I never even thought about it. Like that's just like how like my dad taught me.
Yeah.
Like when I was like a kid in like middle school, high school, like my mom would give me extra money to make sure I can cover her too. Like that's just like all I knew.
Your dad gave you money to take me to the
Exactly.
Dolphins game.
My dad gave me money to take Sophia out.
Oh, well, look how we...
Was there any reach at the concession stand?
Sophie never reached a damn time.
When he was saying that,
Oh,
when
jeez, that's
Tyler's
great.
talking about how he likes the reach, I'm literally in my head thinking of all the times we've gone to dinner. Like, I've never reached. I've never
That's
reached.
why her
Whoa.
finger, that ring's on her right hand and not her left hand.
Shots fired, ladies and gentlemen.
Fuck. So like we just think that like we only talk first date. We literally just preach for the first date. If a guy's hitting you up consistently, hey, when can you get dinner? Hey, they are trying to go out with you, and we
Exactly.
sit there at dinner. Why do we have to pretend we're gonna pay? I would literally, we tell them to grab their hand and say thank you so much. I had a great time. Like, be grateful, touch their hand, make eye contact. But why do we have to pretend to throw our credit card in?
Well, I agree, because now like when my friend told me that like she's had like 4 out of the last 10 guys, like she just gave me a number, like she's like, that's what I think it is, you know, like
That's
asked
brutal.
her or have like split the bill with her. Like I get why, like it's
That's
if the guy's
expensive.
asking you out, that's his treat,
Correct.
right? Like it's a nice gesture, but like I'm not gonna judge you either way. It's just like an added, like, oh, it's like a +1, like yeah, like an extra credit +1 point. You know what I mean?
And then the other question you have to ask is, what is the caliber of the place that you're taking the girl to on the first date?
Dolphins is not a very high
Yeah,
class
but-
move.
but-
man.
But
You
if
could have took it to
No.
a nicer game.
if but the
Fucking
caliber,
guy.
you're the one picking the spot.
No, but that's what I'm saying, right? It's
Like-
like as a guy, or I'm asking the girls, does it make a difference if I ask you to go to Barney's Beanery, or if I'm taking you to Isabel, like for a first date? Is that going to change your impression of me and where I'm taking you?
It depends on the
Good
girl.
question.
We're
That's what I'm saying, right? You're going
really
to
good
twist it a
job.
little
No, that's
bit.
an excellent question. We are also so different with this answer. Like, I love a shitty dive bar, like an I want something like low
Barney's
key,
it is.
something. But yeah.
Dolphins
Or the
game.
Dolphin Stadium. Yeah.
No, we went to a
Bad
Dolphins game,
football.
tailgated, like that. Like that's what I want. Like I want it to be low key. I want to go to a shitty dive bar. Like I kind of like to see people in that setting first. What are you gonna say, Tyler?
I remember the wine I bought when I came to see you.
We went to CVS.
No, I bought a
Oh, we had to get the snacks before going into the stadium.
She's like,
TC.
I had wine. I was like, so I called my mom. I called her. I was like, what is nice wine? Like I never drank wine before.
Oh, that's nice.
So-
He was
and so-
younger. He is younger than me.
So like get Kendall Jackson. So I was like, I don't know what that is, but I'm buying it. I don't even know if it's nice. I still don't even know if it's nice. You know what I mean? So I'm buying Kendall Jackson. I don't know. It was like I don't know how much the bottle cost, like $20 maybe. I'm like, okay, hopefully she likes this stuff. Like you know,
we literally sat on the back of your truck and
No,
drank red
it
wine.
was a Dodge Magnum. Don't hype me up too much. I had to use my brother's car. I had a Dodge
It
Magnum.
was cute, but yeah, so it literally depends on the girl. Because, like, my answer, like I said, I want, like, something really low-key. I also prefer drinks so I can get out of it easier because I don't want to be stuck at dinner with someone if I don't like them.
Yeah.
But Narod likes...
Why did drinks get you out earlier?
You can have one drink and leave. At dinner, you have to wait till the bill comes at the end.
Oh, so you want to have only drinks, no dinner.
Yeah, for first date. Because I have no problem leaving after
See,
one drink.
I love dinner on a first date.
Yeah. Dinner on a first date's great.
Because
What if you're stuck with them?
because if there's dead airspace and it sucks, like
You eat.
I just eat, chill. But like if there's dead airspace and it sucks, then like I know it's not like where I need to be. There's no date number 2.
So
Yeah.
did Tyler go get you a hot dog at all at the game? Did he buy something from the concession
What was
stand?
it
or-
that
She
you
met
got?
my
Was it
crazy
solely
Uncle
drinks?
Fu. Remember that?
Okay.
Uncle Fu. Everybody's got an Uncle Fu.
There's a photo of in my camera roll. So like you know how we have time hop?
Yeah.
It came up on my time hop recently of you and that guy. You
Uncle
looked,
Foo.
you were like a baby. You had like really short hair, but it was so cute. And then, I met him. And then I came to your parents' house like a week later, and I met your entire family.
Quick. I moved quick.
Aw.
Everything comes out on the Brilliantly Dumb show.
I remember my dad. Like Sophie's in the car. He's like, who is that? And my dad always, whenever the girl's like way too hot for me, he always goes, "Don't get your hopes up, son."
Wait, I have a caveat to this story that I don't even know if you know this, but
Everything comes out on the
here
Brilliantly
we
Dumb show.
fucking
Go ahead, so.
So, my best friend, like, on Earth besides Narod, is from Jupiter, and she told me, because me and her were like new friends at the time, and I came up to Jupiter to see Tyler, and we went to this bar called TBC. And it's like a beer bar.
It's a dark beer brewery.
What you-
It's
What'd
a
like?
brewery, that's the word.
Yeah.
It's a brewery, which I like, but I didn't know, and I'd never been to Jupiter, Florida, and Jupiter's like Manhattan Beach where I
You know
live.
who was with us? JP Caruso was with us. JP Caruso was. That's when you know what kind of night it was.
So you met Uncle Pooh, you met JP Caruso.
Okay, so I have to tell you this part of the story. So we go to TBC. It's like, I had never been to Jupiter, and Jupiter's exactly like the town I live in now. Like, you can walk around barefoot, you can dress down, like, it's not fancy. But I was living in Miami at the time, so everywhere you go in Miami, you dress up. So I was dressed up. I was wearing, like, a sexy black jumpsuit, like,
Sexy.
shut up, Tyler. It's like low cut, like whatever. And we go to this brewery. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm way too overdressed. Like he was wearing like a t-shirt and short,
So
like
he's
gym
playing
shorts.
billiards in
I
his
was not wearing
dress.
shorts. I had
No, but you look cute. I like that. I like that.
Playing
Get
9-ball
a
and
punch there, the punch meter.
pop a shot in her
I just
prom
hope
dress.
this doesn't slip off here before I give a right hand.
In the prom dress, I might as well have been wearing a fucking prom dress. So Hannah's other best friend from Jupiter, this girl Peyton, told her this after the fact, like years later. I didn't even know this girl, and she goes, "Hey Hannah, like, so your friend from work, Sophie, was at TBC tonight, and like everyone in there was talking about." Everyone in there was like, "Who is this girl with Tyler Cameron that's so dressed up?" And they all thought that he hired her.
Oh Jesus! Oh my
They thought
goodness.
they thought I was an escort because they had no idea who was this really fancy blonde girl that's with Tyler Cameron, and they didn't understand what I was doing there with him dressed like
Is
that.
this
That's funny.
is this a pre-Bachelorette Tyler Cameron?
This
Yes.
is sophomore in college.
Oh,
Tyler
wow.
Cameron.
Oh,
baby.
this is
Me and
She was
Tyler-
rocking the cradle.
Yeah, Robin. And I've
The
always
cradle robber.
no. It's like I like younger guys sometimes, but like I've known Tyler since 2013.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw you was like a week before you went on the show, and I didn't know you were going on the show. We went to dinner, and in Manhattan Beach.
All right. I have a. I was gonna say. I told them this story last
Ooh.
weekend.
I was
There's
having
so
them-
much more to this story than you know. Sophia.
My side of the story is
I want to hear your
Oh,
side.
comes out on the Brilliantly Dumb show. Here we are.
you called me. You were like, "Do you want to go to dinner in Santa Monica?" I said, "No, I'm not going to go to dinner in Santa Monica." And then you were like, "Okay, fine, I'll come to Manhattan Beach." So I roll out of my house like
Dolphin
this.
Stadium
like-
in Santa Monica, TZ.
No, but like he was in LA.
Okay.
So
Is Santa
and-
Monica not cool?
No, Santa
Yeah,
Monica's
it's nice.
cool.
It's nice. It's nice.
No, and he had been to my town, but you had come to Manhattan Beach before. You had already been to my place in Manhattan. So
Yeah.
you came down. I walked out the front door like dressed like shit. We went to Fish Bar across the street from me, and you had taken an edible.
That's my guy.
So
part
far,
of
it's
the
adding.
story?
So far, everything's adding up.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so-
my boy.
Literally, like the dinner was just you were on one planet and I was on another.
Wait, but this is post.
Pre.
Pre,
This
right?
is still
This is
pre-
This is pre.
Okay.
And like you and I had just. I think I had just seen you in Florida when you were with my whole family for my grandfather's
Yeah.
funeral. Like, I literally had just seen him, like, a month before. Everything was good. We go on this date, and he's, like, so high, and, like, he has nothing to say. We just, like, are not vibing. Like, I don't know what was going on. And, like, you had eaten edibles before, and it was just... It was really weird, and then we just... I didn't even know what you were doing in LA, and then we said goodbye, and then you called me the next day and I didn't pick up, and then a week later, because I thought like the night before was weird, and then the next week I find out you're going on the fucking show, and then I don't talk to you, and then you come off the show and you're famous.
Now let me ask you something though. While the show's going on, are you rooting against them?
No! Oh my God, no! No.
Or do you
All right.
want to see him
Can
at
I-
Vegas?
all right, I wasn't gonna talk about. I told you this.
Yes, he did.
I'm writing a book,
Yes.
and this is in my book. Like,
What?
this-
It's a biography of Tyler Cameron.
It's a
First
funny
chapter
ass story.
is Sophie Juliet, dinner in Manhattan.
Okay.
A closer look at Tyler Cameron, brought to you by Tyler Cameron.
So I'm from Florida, all right? I'm an athlete. Like I play football. Like I don't really do drugs. I don't mess with weed. I don't do much of that at all.
That's what I always thought, so I was so confused when
when
you
he
were on
showed
edibles.
up,
I was
so-
like,
so-
and Bob Marley.
So this is great. I'm glad we're doing this now.
Yeah, absolutely. So am I.
So, I'm there for castings, right? Like the final round of castings, and they fly you in late. They take away all your stuff. Like you basically are like doing interviews from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. After that, they're like, here's some money, go hit the town. So the first thing I did was I went to Santa Monica. I was like, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna try what a dispensary is. I don't know what a dispensary is. I'm gonna try one of these things out. You know, I'm gonna get some weed and like eat an edible and just like have the most majestic dinner by myself. Right? I get there, I realize I lost my wallet. I forgot my wallet, forgot my ID, had to go all the way back to the hotel. So then I go to the closest dispensary there is, right? From LA, it's not far. Get that, and I text Sophia. I was like,
why do you keep calling me Sophia?
is it Sophie?
You don't know my
And that's why it didn't work out.
Believe it or not, there was an edible consumed before the taping of this.
What the fuck? He suddenly doesn't.
So, Lisa, continue.
It's
Continue.
go.
the tequila. I'm sorry. Sophie, my bad. I'm extremely sorry.
Sandra, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so I text Sophie.
It's like when people mispronounce your name.
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck did you?
I text Sophie, and I'm like, hey, like I'm in LA. Like, where do I go eat? She's like, you should go eat at Fish Bar.
Fish bar.
I was like, all right, bet. And I was like, come join me. Or you're like, it's like Manhattan Beach right where I live. I was like, all right, great, come, you know. But I'm gonna go back up. I'm at the dispensary, right? And I'm talking to this lady. She's like half my size, and I'm looking at her. I'm talking like, so how many gummies do you eat? Because I don't know. I've never done this before. She's like,
This was your first time.
my
doing
first
edibles?
time ever doing
Oh
edibles.
my
Meanwhile, you're getting all dressed up, all dolled up, ready to go.
No. I walked out like this, but no makeup. Like
Sure. Okay. I'm just kidding. I don't remember. I don't
you
remember.
said today, you've never seen me dressed up.
I know. So she's like, I eat 20 milligrams like when I get high. I was like, look at her. I was like, okay, I'm double her size. I can eat 40. Right.
Whoa.
So as soon as I get it, I just eat 10, like 3 of them right away. That's 30 down the hatch. And then I
And that
text
ain't
my
no
buddy,
joke.
huge stoner. I'm like, you're like, how much do you eat to get high, like when you're doing edibles? He's like, well, I eat 30 normally, but 40 to get really big. I was like, oh,
You're done.
fuck, I'm done. So then, but anyways, it hasn't hit me yet. I'm like still, rolling. She's like, meet me at Fish Bar. I was like, great. Go to Fish Bar, get there, and I'm like sitting waiting for her. And then she comes, but right before she comes in, I'm like, oh shit. Like,
It hit you at that time.
I'm
that's-
extremely high. Like, this isn't good. and then Sophie sits down. And it's good. It's kind of good at first. And then eventually, I was like, I told her, I was like, yo, I ate edibles, so I don't know what's going to happen.
You were like, I'm really high right now. And we've hung out a bunch. Like, we've been friends for years.
Yeah.
So, like,
Theater
Like,
entree.
our conversations are typically a lot of fun.
like
Finish
we
those potatoes.
no, it's like we've never ever had awkward conversations.
No.
Like, we've been friends for so long. We've hung out a ton. For once, it was like normal, and then it hit a point where he was just like, I'm really high, and I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
this is not like him. Like,
I would literally, all I could do was sit there, eat my food, laugh, and look at her and be like, I can't even respond to her. I don't know why she's still talking.
And are
Oh,
you running the
man.
conversation
She's
at that
running
point, Seth?
kind of, but it was getting a little, I realized, and I used to smoke a lot of weed, and I don't at all anymore, but I know what it was like when I used to be really high and the people I would be with were not high. And I would always be like, these people have no idea what I'm going through. Like, these people are not on my planet.
You should have offered her a gummy.
But here, so this
took the whole bag.
This begins my thought process though. Is like I am going on the Bachelorette. While I'm at castings, like hoping to make it. Like they're following me. They're gonna see me with this beautiful blonde girl, and they're gonna be like, "This guy's a player. This guy, like, he left for 30 minutes. He's already with another girl." You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm screwed. They're gonna catch me. You know?
Mind you, Sophia, he's telling me this story. We were at the Four Seasons, and I'm drinking a Negroni, and I was just in the hotel. I was fascinated.
Yeah. I remember one point I went to the bathroom, which seemed like 600 yards away. Went to the bathroom, and I'm like in there, like by myself, and all of a sudden I thought I heard a camera. I'm like, they're taking pictures of me. Like I'm like in here ducking, like there's nobody around me.
Oh, dude, I wish I knew that this was going through like that.
And then when I go back to my table, like dinner's finishing up, and I'm like, oh shit, like my card is about to get declined because I'm out of state. I've already bought like 3 different things, like you know what I mean. And then sure enough, I like spoke it to existence. My card gets declined, and I'm like, great. Now I'm on this Wells Fargo app that I don't even know how to use, trying to like figure out how to unlock it.
Are you watching this go
down?
down?
So I left this out of the story on purpose because I didn't know.
I didn't know how to do it.
Remind you folks, this is a pre-Bachelorette.
So his card gets declined, and I'm like, I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know whether you would want me to pay for it or not. So I was just like, oh, dude.
And I could probably barely communicate to her at this point.
You see it.
Yeah, you're like barely. I'm like.
Did the server bring it back and say, "Sir, we need another
she's like,
card"?
sorry, your card's declined. I'm like, okay. So my thought process is, when this happens when you're out to dinner with someone, do you want to call attention to it and make it like I didn't know if I was going to make it worse by like exactly. So I
downplay the hell out of it.
So I thought, okay, I'm not going to make this worse. I'm just going to like not do anything because if I offer to pay for him in front of the waitress, I didn't know how you.
Shame on the server too for saying that it got declined. Yeah. You should have the wherewithal if you see someone on a date as a server, and I'm in hospitality industry, to say, "Oh, we don't take American Express," or "Oh, we're having issues with our machine right now. Do you have another card? We'll try to, or maybe put it in manually." To say that it got declined in front of a couple, it's a recipe for...
Bet you wish Joey Cold Cuts was your server.
Well, I remember I didn't do anything because I didn't want to make it worse, and I knew you were already high, and I didn't want you to start...
You played it great.
Okay, good.
But you call... Then he has to get on the... He has to call your...
The bank?
You had to call...
I had to
you had to call people. He's like on the bank, on the phone. So I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for you outside because... He was standing, the restaurant was empty.
The restaurant was closed.
And he was standing up. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to wait outside because I don't want to like intrude on you were like so high and then you were on the phone with your bank. And I was like, I don't want to stand here and listen to him be on the phone with his bank. I don't want to like, I basically was trying to make you not feel more uncomfortable.
That's
so I was
good.
like,
Good
I'm
on
going to
you.
wait outside for you.
So it gets better. It gets better.
It gets better?
Yeah.
Also, can we backtrack for a minute? I was like, what are you doing here? And
she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm modeling.
Yes. So he goes,
it's a grind.
He's like, I'm here.
Guest calls.
He's like, I'm here for modeling castings. And I was like, oh, so I'm asking him all these questions about modeling. I'm like, do you ever get embarrassed when you post modeling photos to your page? Like, do your boys rip on you? You were just like, no, I don't care. Like, you're basically like downplaying the modeling thing because I'm like interrogating you about modeling because, okay, anyways, fast forward.
So I finally get my car to work. I'm like, all right, we're getting out of here. And then Sophie's outside, and I'm out there with her, and then we're saying our goodbyes. And she goes to hug me, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, she's trying to kiss me. There's producers watching.
I wasn't.
I know, but in my head, like, you gotta understand, I'm freaking out. In my head, I'm like, there's producers watching and everything. I like duck, you know what I mean? Like make it like a really awkward situation.
I remember the hug was really weird. It was like,
for you guys.
By the way,
later,
well, it was only like it was January 2019. It was right before he went on the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like literally like no, because 2 weeks later I found that out and I was like, oh, that makes sense why you're in town. But I thought you were so embarrassed about the credit card. That because I remember the hug was like super quick and then I was like, okay, bye. Like I was literally like, dude, I've known you for like what, like 6-7 years and you're like, okay, bye. And I thought he was just like upset. embarrassed about the credit card thing, so I was like, okay.
My thought was the producers were seeing me with you, and you were. I thought like you went for a hug, and like I was like, oh, that's a kiss. I gotta get away. Like,
Oh my God.
You know. And so then she in my head I see like storming off like like walking up the hill, right?
I was not storming off. I'm
You
nervous.
just have a big stride, okay?
I was literally
Patting your own
nervous.
legs over
Yeah,
there.
no. Do you know? No, at night when I'm walking alone at night, I fucking speed walk because it's like
she
dark.
hit that thing out of there.
Yeah. So you thought I was mad at you.
Yeah, I thought she was mad at me.
And that's why you called me I knew you were calling the next day to like apologize for the weirdness. I thought.
Is that the last time then you guys see each other?
Yes.
No.
To,
I've seen you since.
Oh no! We've seen since, but like before the show.
Oh,
Before,
the
no,
show.
it was literally 2 weeks before we went to film. And by the way, us meeting up for dinner was not romantic. It was literally like,
Just
we've been
hanging,
friends for so long, and it was just like saying hi. Like when he went on the show, I was excited for him. I was excited to watch him. Like I know someone going on The Bachelor. Like it was. I never for 1 second felt like upset or jealous. Like we don't have that type of like we're we're supportive of each other.
We are.
and you were rooting for him to advance as it goes through.
I was excited. Well, I didn't watch much of it. I don't really watch the show. So like I watched the first episode and he danced. And I was like, the fuck is he doing?
Probably on another gummy.
And then I watched the last episode where he was almost proposing and my jaw was on the floor. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, but no, I was always rooting for him. I mean, I think everything that's happened to you is awesome. Like, I think it's cool.
But my night gets worse though here.
What?
Yeah, it gets worse.
This night's not over?
No, this night's not over because now like you left, and now like the place is closing, so everyone's leaving. And I'm like, I'm in Manhattan Beach, but I think I'm in like the worst parts of LA.
You're in the safest neighborhood.
So
now.
I'm like, but I'm like literally hiding behind the corner of Fish Bar, like waiting for an Uber, like peeking outside, like I'm about to get robbed. Like this is not good, you know. And then my Uber finally comes. And I think my Uber's a producer, so she's like asking me all these questions, like interrogating me. I'm like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, you know, that's it. And then I finally get to my hotel, and they're like, you have to text them like when you're 10 minutes out. We have a curfew. So I'm texting them like, hey, I'm there.
Wait, were you like already casted at this point?
No, this is like the final casting. But like they're like,
why do you have a curfew?
because they have handlers that orchestrate like when you get to your room, so you don't see any other possible people.
Oh, that's intense.
So I get there, and I texted them. They're like, okay, we'll see you when you get here. And I'm waiting at the front door for like 10 seconds, which you're stoned feels like 34 minutes,
Yeah.
right?
Sophie's date felt like 5 hours.
Exactly. The day that was never ending. And then so I was like, screw it. I'm not letting him see me like this. I book it. Right? I speed walk. I hit a Sophie walk. You know what I mean? And I walked the wrong way. And I walk literally to where every single producer is like all hanging out. Like at the end of the night, like, you know what I mean? They're like, Tyler, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to my room. And I just kept walking. And they're like, that's the wrong way. I'm like, oh shit. That makes me freak out even more. And I sprint the other way. Get to my room. Go upstairs, hit the elevator, and then like I take the sheets, I put it over my head, thinking that's gonna keep me away from them, right? And then like, I'm a mess, bro.
Oh my God.
And then like there's knocking on the door, and like, which I think there's knocking on the door. I don't know. I never checked it. I was too scared. Like they're not getting me, and I'm like hiding, and like somehow I woke up for my flight the next morning. But I was like, they're definitely cutting me because they saw me stoned. Like,
You know
there's
what?
no way.
Please
Moral
tell
of the
me you
story.
never, ever got high again.
No, it's,
You know what? You know what?
That's bad enough to never do it again.
You know what I say?
I yeah.
You think about these shows, okay? And if you think about it the other way around, where you got this girl going on all these dates with these guys, vice versa. I don't think there's any real way that you can actually fall in love with the person. In the sense of they're going on so many dates with other guys. Is it really real? I mean, say you guys go on to The Bachelor, okay? And you're competing with 10, 15 other girls. Doesn't it come to a point where it's like, can it really be real?
I mean, I can't imagine it. I don't know. I guess we have to ask Tyler
And
What was the question?
Dustin.
and Dustin. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Dustin,
I can't imagine.
I have a theory though. I have a theory that it's like when you're all dudes or all girls in a house and there's one female or one guy and you don't have cell phones and you're living and everyone wants that person and you're like, wait, it's the same thing as like, you know, if there's a guy that girls are like, no, he's so hot, he's so good in bed, they rave about him, then other girls are like, oh, is he? And they start to, it's like everyone wants the same person, so you start to all have this mindset that this person is the best catch in the entire world because you have no access to anyone else. And then you come
competitive
off and you're like, Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Let's ask the guys.
Dustin, come on, step on up, baby. Dustin thought he was just gonna put it on cruise control. Now you're on the hot seat here, baby.
I think the whole process is expedited. So, like, no distractions. You don't have your phone, like you said, no TV, no music. The focus is just on this girl. For me, I didn't get any feelings. Some other people did.
But don't you have to act like you are getting feelings, though, in order to keep advancing?
Maybe. I never did. With me, I was just having a good time. I think me and Hannah were just enjoying each other's company. It was relaxed free. There was no pressure.
How long, like,
And
how many
holy
people
shit.
did you make it down to?
I was
Number
top
8.
8.
Oh,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
you made it that
Big
far and didn't have
deal.
feelings.
That's what I'm saying. And I said, what if you get to the
I think
finals?
Dustin never got that real one-on-one
Oh my
intimate
God.
time to have those feelings.
That's
Like,
true. I
he
never
never
got a
had a
one-on-one.
one-on-one date. He never did anything like that. So like he missed out on like those big steps to take in that date.
Because you didn't go far enough to advance?
No, she's
No,
I just
he
didn't go
got
one-on-one
far.
I just
But
didn't
top
get picked
8.
for a one-on-one date. So when you do group dates, literally I probably altogether had probably 30 minutes tops with Hannah, like by myself. I would say something like maybe a little bit more.
and he was
hour,
gonna
maybe.
say he loved her.
You have to. You gotta give him. Hey, go-
He just said he didn't like it.
But when you get a one-on-one date, you get the whole day with the girl. So you're getting to really get to know her, deep conversations. Before that, it's just like I have 15 minutes with her, and it's just, I mean, what can
Yeah.
you talk about in 15 minutes?
No, but there's
That's
gotta be
interesting.
guys in the house that are just not into Hannah at all. But you gotta play the card like you
What
are.
if someone's not attracted
I
to the
don't think-
Bachelorette?
Yeah, that's a good
that's
question.
But
great
don't you know
question.
who it is, or no?
I'm sure there was someone, but no one will ever say
Yeah.
who it is, or they say it's me. You know?
Or do you think that like because
That's a pro
everyone
move right there.
do you think because every guy likes her, like guys get like that competitive, like, oh fuck,
Of course.
yeah, like now I'm into it because everyone else is.
I would say
Also, be cut off from women for a long time.
That's yeah.
Be
You know,
what?
be cut off from women for a long time.
Is that the last one you saw before?
the producers.
Dolphin Stadium was the last date this poor guy had.
Was the edible date your last time seeing a girl before you went on the show?
Yes.
Wow.
You were like, Hannah, please take me. Like my last date was so bad.
You know what I said to Tyler though too when we were talking, it was like, you know, I mentioned it on our interview. It's like, the further you go in this show, the further you go, the more your popularity gets up there, which is going to help
But-
your career after. So it's like it's got to be some type of survive and advance mentality to where you may put it to the side if you whether you even really like the girl or not.
We are selling Hannah short though. Like, I think Hannah was a great bachelorette because she is like super fun. She's herself right away to you. Like you get 100% her right away. So like there's no faking it from her. You either know you like her or you don't. You know.
Yeah.
And she was someone who like I genuinely liked enjoyed and like loved being with and hanging out with. So like it was easy. You know. Like once like our first time hanging out, I was like, oh, this is easy. This is fun. You know. And like I think you can say this like Hannah, like being around Hannah, like she's fun and easy to hang out with.
a
And
lot
like,
of energy, just personable.
She seems
and,
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good time. Like I didn't have those feelings, but I enjoyed hanging out with her for sure.
That's
But
awesome.
also, this process is strenuous. When I was checked out, I was checked out. Me
Yeah.
and Tyler were rooming together, and I was like, I can't do
He's
this
like,
no
"So
more."
I'm
So
ready
you
to get
weren't
out."
having it.
Yeah, I was ready to go home.
Wow.
Interesting.
Would Big Game Bob go on The Bachelorette?
Survive and advance. I mean, whatever.
I
Not saying
have
I
a
would
question,
go far.
just kind of to piggyback. Like, are you aware at all times that you're making a TV show, or do you kind of lose track of it?
Oh, hey, folks. So sorry to interrupt here. Big Game Bob here. Just want to interrupt the show to let you folks know that the Brilliantly Dumb Show is brought to you by Manscaped, folks. I don't care what goes on in winter and spring and summer and all of that stuff. It's fall season right now. There is no better time than to have a clean shaven nutsack than right now, than this fall season. Big Game Bob told you here first. The Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 is a premium electric trimmer that's designed to give you a confidence boost through body image, folks. Keep them elite, keep them right, keep them tight with Manscaped. How do you do so? I'm going to give you 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code BROBIBLE, BROBIBLE. Head over to manscaped.com. Get 20% off, free shipping, promo code
Bro Bible, time to grab 2020 by the horns by shaving that front trunk, fellas. Let it rip. Keep it tight. Keep it clean. Big Game Bob told you so. Let's keep this show moving on.
Like this is like the thing like my coach taught me this in college. He always says, "Be where your feet are."
Be where your feet are.
Yeah. So it's like be present. Like know what you're doing, know where you are, know what's going on, and like in a game, it's easy to get like lost in the emotions and all that. But he always says, "Be where your feet are." And like on that show, I was like, "Be where your feet are. Remember what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Like you're. But you have a family at home. You have a name. Like you know. Don't like I told no to the producers of a lot of things.
Like
know?
what? What's something they want? Like what? What's something that they wanted you to do?
I would tell them like I'm not into that, and they would go do something stupid. Like, the only thing I said yes to, with them was like they're like, let's go get hand flowers. I was like, yeah, let's go do it. It's a nice gesture, But like there was things like I don't know, like I feel like I always said what I wanted to say. Yeah, you rush things, because like on a date, right? Like the first night I never spoke to her, so I was like I'm not gonna like have any regrets about like not putting myself out there. Like I'm not really an open person, and so like with her, like I learned like I have to open up and tell her everything. So I told her a lot of stuff right away because I had no choice. Like you basically have to throw all your cards out on the table. She's got to throw her cards out on the table, and you got to see where y'all stand. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. And like that's kind of that's how I lived. Like it's how I learned and grew. And like there was things like I was willing to talk about like in private, things I wasn't going to talk about in public. You know what I mean?
But I think what also Narod was asking is like, when you're in the house, like, are there cameras rolling at all times? Or are there times where the boys are just chilling and like you don't have to worry about being on camera?
There were very little times
where you're not on camera.
And we took a full advantage of those times. That's when we were most relaxed, most drunk.
We would try and hide in the mornings with like so they couldn't put the mics on us. Like we would just like I would like I always try to be the last person to get a mic on because like I was like your freedom.
Okay, how do you guys work out?
You just do like
push-ups. Workouts stopped after week 2, I think.
Yeah, after week 2, once we started traveling, we just eat, drink, and get fat.
If that's getting fat, then sign me up. Let me tell you. Good Lord Almighty. That'd be the most best fucking trip I've ever taken. Come back with a washboard abs.
You gotta be eyeing these guys. You gotta be eyeing these guys down too as you come into the house. What you gotta worry about.
I'll tell you what. The first week I was so intimidated.
By who? Who's intimidating?
I like asked Dustin.
It's a little disrespectful to Dustin.
No, I'm saying this guy's in much better shape than I am too. I'm saying like you're a great looking guy in good shape. Who are you getting intimidated by?
But this
Please
goes
don't tell
back
me
to
Luke B.
This goes back to like you're in a foreign place. You have cameras everywhere. You're like you're doing all this stuff. You're competing with all these guys.
Brand new.
All these guys are in suits. They all look great. They all look awesome. You know what I mean? You got John Paul Jones, who looks like the all-American dream, right? You got like all these kids who look amazing. They're in the suits. They all work these jobs in finance and this. I had $200 to my name. I was making up my job. I said I was a GC. I just got my license. I just built one house, but like I made $5,000 on the house. My dad took all the damn money and said, "Screw you, kid." He's like, I
left you enough forever.
But like I didn't talk to nobody for like the first week because I was scared of everybody.
Were you
and
intimidated
then I went on a
too?
group date and I kissed her. I was like, "Oh, y'all are screwed."
It's a scary, you're out of your element. You don't have any of your boys. You're around a bunch of guys you don't know that are good looking. There's nothing but cameras and producers around. You are out of your element. Night 1 is intimidating.
It's got to be a strange
intimidating.
feeling.
I remember him. We were in the same limo. He was super quiet. I mean, we were all super quiet, but you could see it on everyone's face. We were just shitless.
Yeah. Me and Dustin were part of the group that didn't even talk to it the first night.
Yeah.
Let's say there's a single in that road, okay? Are you going on The Bachelor? Would you do it?
I don't know. Maybe. Sounds kind of fun.
Wow.
Narod, that's a surprise.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
it is a blast.
It sounds
that's
fun.
that's the one thing about it.
You'd
Like,
be
you're
great.
having fun the whole time.
Smoked.
No, you'd be great because you have a good. You need
I
either.
think
You gotta
we-
have a good personality on that show, so you stick out right away.
Right.
Who would you say would be his character?
I think Robbie would do well on The Bachelor.
Yeah,
I
you
like
do
it.
very
Honestly,
well,
He would
Rob.
have his own character.
What about,
Yeah,
what
you-
about Box Guy?
I was going to say he kind of resembled him.
Yeah, he didn't make it out though.
But he's
Box
not-
Guy was a night 1 elimination.
Well, thank you very much. stopping by. When's your flight back to Florida?
Okay.
Bosco had no awareness though. He was funny. I love like you have like that.
No,
You
I
both have like
think-
a voice, like a voice that like catches your ear.
You know what?
I
though?
think Robbie
Yeah.
is one of the most likable people I've ever
Exactly.
met. So it
Oh.
definitely flourished on the
was-
show.
But
I was gonna close this down. I'll keep going. Rod, you keep on going.
No,
Wait.
absolutely.
Do you know what we have to circle back to? That whole tangent came off when you said, "Does it matter where you take a girl on a date if it's nice or not?" Noward never gave her answer.
Oh.
Sophie, you already know what I'm gonna say. I love it.
But I think they need I think they need
So,
to hear two sides of it.
I do love a fancy date, but at the same time, I do like a dive bar. So I feel like you're putting me on the spot. A
No,
little
no, I'm not putting you
Yeah.
on the spot. Basically, like, I think it does matter sometimes. Like, I think, like, it is a nice thing if a guy picks a nice restaurant, right? Like, some
I
girls
think-
like to get dressed up for
I
dinner.
think to me it's the thought. Did you make a reservation? Did you plan it out? Like the thought that goes into it is what's special, not just like showing up to a random place and being like having to wait and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I like getting dressed up. I like
if he
going to
doesn't make
nice dinners.
reservations,
It's really bad. If
It's
you don't
really
make a
bad.
reservation
You gotta
on
make
a date,
reservations.
oh,
I've slipped.
It's
up on
so
that a few
awful.
times.
And
Or
I wasn't
you could
putting
also
I
probably
wasn't
slip
putting
in.
Narod on the spot. She doesn't need the most expensive place, but like a lot of girls want to get dressed up and go to a nice dinner, and like it doesn't have to be fancy, but somewhere where you can just like have a nice.
You know,
I love going to a fancy, like nice dinner.
I think at the
first
end of the
date.
day, for a girl, the grand gesture and the thought that goes into things is like the most like special and important thing.
Thoughtfulness.
Like the thoughtfulness. Like, did you think about it? Was it like a last resort situation? Like, I think
are you an appetizer type of girl on the road? I mean,
I love a good calamari.
so if you go on a first date and he says, "Do you want an appetizer?" Will you say, "Yeah, let's do an appetizer"?
Yeah.
If he says no, do you think he's a cheap ass?
Yes.
Do you
Yeah.
pick the appetizer? I always found the
Or you
appetizer
share
process.
something at the
I
very
love it.
least.
How many apps has he got to give? Like, oh, this guy's got it going on.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think it's like that. I just think it's like I would love an appetizer.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question for you now. Do you like when a guy orders for the table, like for you? Like,
I
do you
do
like?
Joey Cold Cuts to a T. Don't go to dinner with Joey Cold Cuts. He'll take care of the whole.
I
table.
like being asked if I have something that I want, but if he wants to take charge, by all means. I love like a manly man who takes charge and like takes
Say
care
no
of
more,
it.
not road. If you ever come to dinner
So,
with me,
so
it'll be set up
you're gonna tell him what you want, and then he's gonna order it for you.
Yeah. No. It's not like I'm scared to talk to the waitress. I'm just saying like.
I'm not saying you're scared, but like I know some guys like
No,
to do that.
the
I think
play
some
is-
girls-
No, I'm saying
to-
guys who order for you, like not what you want. Like
Oh, you
they
mean
order.
entree?
Oh, she's gonna
Yeah.
have this,
Well,
and
the
this.
play is to do a bunch of different dishes.
Wait, she knows what I'm talking
I
about.
know what you're talking about.
Like when okay, so say you go to Nobu and the guy's been to Nobu a million times,
Yeah.
and he's like, "We'll have the yellowtail, the crispy wrist, this
Yeah.
and that," and they order a ton of things for the table,
Yeah.
and you eat what you like.
Yeah, that's the play.
You're
You
saying
order
you're-
a family style,
Yes.
so there's tons of stuff, so the girl can pick and choose whatever she wants, and she doesn't have to
1,000,000%.
like sit there and be like, do I have to order something? It's too expensive, or do I order the chicken because I don't want to look like I'm taking advantage? If the guy comes in and big dicks it into the restaurant and knows and just takes control,
It's the BG
I think
energy.
that's the play.
This is what I typically do.
Yeah.
Like I'll go in there, I'll ask the waitress like, what's like the house favorites, what's your
Love that.
favorites, you know what I mean? And then she'll tell me like, all right, we'll do that, and like we'll go with that.
How do you
I
not
love
win
that.
this fucking show? I don't understand it. I mean, that's so true when you think.
And like, but I'll ask her, like, is there anything that sounds good to you? And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, this sounds good. I was like, okay, so then we'll get those and this and
100%.
that.
Yes.
The problem I run into, especially with first dates, is the ratio between how long you take to look at the menu and then the talking, because you always want the talking to be flowing,
Yeah.
you know, right
Yeah.
out of the gate and constantly, and to the point. Especially sushi, that's something where you got to really take a look at the menu to where you kind of got to designate and say, hey, by the way, let's both look at the menu. Take
But
look
it's
at
a
the
good sign though if you gotta do that.
Literally.
If you-
Totally.
if you
I was
keep-
just about to say, if you haven't looked at the menu yet and the waitress comes over multiple times, you know it's going
It's a
well.
good sign,
It's
yeah.
a good sign.
For sure.
The server gets pissed, but
Now-
I mean,
Now,
Back
do
in
you
that
want your own individual cocktail or drink, or do you want a bottle of wine or something? Split a bottle of wine or something.
Now
like
it
that.
wants tequila.
Now it's
right?
a cocktail, no doubt.
I like a
about
good cocktail.
Yeah.
Salud.
So you're doing cocktails.
it.
you do a
Yeah.
cocktail first, and then you do wine if it's going really
we'd
good.
be out. We split a bottle of wine. Is what
I
we
would
do.
like that. I would honestly, when it comes to
You still
drinking,
drink red?
well, I'll
Kendall
drink.
Jackson?
Ooh.
I drink.
Oh, there's Jill. We're not done here. We're not done here. Ram Stadium is right down the road. Sunday night
Make sure
football.
that Wells
5%
Fargo's
capacity.
called before you bro.
I don't care. Like if a guy says, "Do you want to split a bottle?" I'm always game. And if they say, "What do you want to drink?" I could be like vodka soda, or I'll order. But I don't care. When it comes to drinks, no one's ever judging if or I'm not. But this is gonna piss some people off, but like, I respect people who don't drink. I really do, and I know that people have reasons for not drinking. I personally don't want to go out with someone who doesn't drink because I like to drink, and I also just, it's so awkward when you're on a first date with someone who's like, this happened to me once years ago when I was living in Miami. I went on a first date and I didn't know the guy didn't drink, and we get to the restaurant and they're like, what would you like to drink? And I'm like, and I order a glass of wine, and he's like, oh, I don't drink. And I'm like, and then I had to sit there drinking by myself, like feeling awkward, like, is he uncomfortable that I'm drinking? Like the whole time I was in my head about it, and I just think it's easier that I just am not with someone who doesn't drink. But
I think the guy's never like not. He's like, if you drink, I like it. He's taking you out.
Right.
He's cool with it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
but on the contrary, let's say TC takes you to Dolphin Stadium and he's just getting banged up. Is that kind of like a hold on red flag, where TC?
I would like to be there alongside. I would like to get drunk together.
Him, right.
But
we gotta be on the same levels. One can't be way ahead of the other.
No. I would love.
we found out earlier.
No, I'm down to get.
Gummy McGee over here.
Right, that's the moral of that edible
Exhibit
story.
A.
You guys have to be on the same planet. So like,
Yes.
if one's high, the other can't not be high on a date. And like, if you're getting drunk, I'm so down to get drunk on a first date. But like, I don't like a sloppy drunk. I'm a drunk that like I could be so fucked up and you would never know that I was so fucked up. So like, I don't want the guy to be a slop kebab. Like that would be awful. But Narod has opinions.
I'm for sure a sloppy drunk, so I.
You are.
Get it all out there. Yeah, get it all out
Yes,
there.
that's why I have to be careful. But I would like to be on the same page. I
Would you-
definitely don't want to be with somebody who's like out drinking me and I'm just like taking care of them.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Would you like if a guy? Okay, there was a period where I like wasn't really drinking. It was kind of like in the beginning when we first met. I was working a lot on weekends and nights in hockey, and I wasn't really drinking. And I went on a date with a guy, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to drink. It was like a weeknight or something, and he was ripping shots.
Wow,
At
that's
dinner.
extreme.
And he was like,
That means he's struggling.
Robbie,
and he was a lot older than
scared.
me. He was a lot older than me
Speaking
too.
of drinking.
But here's my thing. There's a good
that's-
way. So if you're a guy and you don't drink, right, and you like don't want to make it awkward, order some glass of wine and just let it sit there.
Let me ask you something, TC. You ever get whiskey dick?
It happens to everyone.
So tell me about that. What's that?
Well, we're talking about drinking,
I
so it's a
remember
good
one time I got
sidebar.
it. I was like running to the refrigerator, drinking sweet tea, thinking that's gonna give me energy.
So you'll be hooking up with a girl
It
and
is-
it's like about time to
Yeah, but
insert
that means I'm
and
too.
you
That
can't
means
quite
I
get
was
there.
Not
way
even-
Yeah.
way overserved. I drank
The
way
word
too much.
flaccid is not
Yeah.
a word anybody wants to know.
What I
It's
wanted
called
to
shoot,
wonder.
pull, rope. You don't want
I
to do
like
that.
that. I like that. When whiskey dick comes out, okay, is it because there's theories out there that it's more embarrassing for the girl. The guys think that it's so embarrassing, but then the girl kind of gets into their head thinking
Yeah.
that maybe it might be
them.
Be them. So my question to you guys is: does that come to your head, or is it no? We take all the.
I think in a world where if I'm like drunk too and not sure exactly what's going on, I could see myself being like, oh, like I'm not, like why is it not working? But I think the guy just has to come out and be like, hey, by the way, I don't think it's gonna happen tonight, and
Right.
just take ownership.
I will say you're right. Most girls get very in their head about it. Like my
Yeah.
friends, I hear it all the time. Girls, well, he couldn't get hard. What does that mean? Does he not like me? I'm like, if you can tell that someone is really banged up, like if you can tell someone's really drunk, then it's like
Obvious.
it's obvious, and you're like, all right, fuck it, let's go.
What
to
if they're
bed.
not
Usually, if
drunk?
it doesn't
If
work,
it's
they're
not
not,
gonna
if they're
Great.
just, if they're like, do you know that I have multiple friends who in the beginning stages of their relationship, the guy was having problems, and I don't know why. And
is it like a nervous thing?
Yeah,
yeah,
there's comfort
like in their
levels.
head, like I know a guy that he could only have sex with girls that he didn't like. Like it was the Madonna whore complex.
No.
It's basically like when someone's like your girlfriend and like
Yeah.
it's like wifey, like they couldn't fuck them, but they could fuck girls that they like didn't
Yeah.
have
Wow.
feelings for. But I think that girls do get in their head when a guy can't get it up, more so than the guy, like just as much as the guys in their head.
Interesting.
You're just like, what? Like,
Yeah,
you're,
for sure.
What? Why not? Like, what did I do? Like, also when it goes soft in the middle, you're
Yeah.
That's
Fuck.
so
That's
that's
like the-
more
that's the
concerning.
worst.
That's like the worst. Like you're just like
You think it's you. You're
Dustin-
like,
Dustin's got a
Dustin's
story.
got something to say
Well, I
about
was-
whiskey dick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've been in a long-term relationship, and once we broke up, me going to hook up with another girl, I just wasn't feeling it. I was still
Yeah,
kind of
it's true.
upset. I'm upset with my ex. I mean, wanting to be with my ex, and
so it was not
Those-
feeling the girl.
I wouldn't say I wasn't feeling the girl.
Literally.
I wasn't over my ex quite yet, so I just wasn't there.
There's a comfort level aspect for sure, and sometimes it's just like, my first girlfriend ever, it took me a couple times before I felt comfortable enough with her.
wow.
Yeah, and she, God love her, she stuck it through, and in more ways than one.
When it wasn't going through,
but
she
it was
stuck it
true. And then
through.
I never had an issue with her, and I've never had that issue ever again. I was very young at the time. It was
Yeah.
like one of the first times like hooking up with somebody. I was maybe like 17, 16, 17. But at the time, I was like mortified, and good for her. She was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it is nerve wracking. Like going into that second date with her, I was
you
like,
better.
Joseph, bring your game. My
For
God,
sure.
I was like pre-gaming, like
He walked in
focused.
the door with a
and it was
bonus
like,
to make
if
sure.
you don't, I'm like, if I don't come out on top here, this is gonna be done. You know?
Well, I think like I feel like sexual stuff is so much more mental for guys than it is for girls.
Yes.
Correct.
Like you guys have to think of things so you don't come too quickly, and then you have to think of, and then
Oh, God.
and then you have to think of things so that like if you go soft once, like this is why my friends were having problems in the relationship. It happens one time, the girl gets all upset, and then the next time they go into it, like, I hope this doesn't happen again. And like girls, like, it's the same every time. Like we're good.
Yeah.
Like you have to concentrate
guys
hard
got it
to
easy.
come, but like besides that, like it's not mental. Like, but for guys, like
They got it the hardest.
They haven't heard.
I
can
don't
come
think
in-
so.
we
They
can
can
come
fake
in-
it too. They can.
Yeah, I gotta disagree.
As
with
a
you,
guy, you
TC.
can't
I
fake it.
disagree.
Can't fake nothing.
You can't fake shit.
Since we're on the subject, I actually had the worst sexual experience ever one time.
tell
Okay,
us.
let's
Oh yeah,
hear it.
we are.
Here we
We
go.
are.
Since it came up, so it was a night in college, and I was
Some of my
drinking way
horny
too
friends.
much.
What did you say?
Oh, that I'm like, I'm good.
Hannah Brown's
So-
lucky Dustin didn't
so,
advance. let me tell you.
This was back in college. I had whiskey dick. I could not get it up to save my life. I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I finally get it up, so I'm good to go. I'm like, okay. Whew. I came in like less than a minute after that.
Oh,
So she
jeez.
knew I was struggling the whole time,
Oh,
and
Lord.
then I just couldn't. It was the worst.
How did she treat you after?
We're actually friends today. She's actually really cool about it. It was a good,
go.
good joke.
that's
I had to make a joke out of it. You know, I
No,
didn't get-
that's the way to handle things, by the way, is like you cannot get bent out of shape. I will tell this for every dude listening, because it's happened to me where a guy comes too quickly, like under a minute. And I do not
It's a compliment.
No, I never get upset. I will never be like, ew. Like, you girls are not thinking like, what's wrong with him? You're literally like, oh, okay. Like, let's just wait a minute and go again. Like, you need the guy to make a joke out of it or be like, all right, whatever.
This is the first time. Like, there's so much excitement. There's so
Yes.
much going into it. Like,
And you have to make it like normal and funny and like let it roll off your back, because how you respond to that is everything.
That's like getting a field goal blocked in the first quarter. You have a whole game left to play. You know what I mean?
There'll be a lot more kids.
Great
are
analogy,
you done?
TC.
Are you
Yeah.
gonna wake up and go?
Well,
But
when,
The Seahawks first play of the game against the Patriots. They do a pick six.
Came right
What they
back
do?
up,
What
came
they do?
right
They
back
came
down
right
the
back
field.
up.
Well,
Guess what?
Wilson
Guess what
stuck
you're
it
gonna do
right
this weekend?
up.
You're gonna come right back.
no, the guy who came in under a minute went into the bathroom for like 30 minutes, literally got up, ran into the bathroom, was locked in there for like 30 minutes, and I was just sitting there, and then it was like 10 times worse than it ever had to be.
Oh, no.
If he was just like, all right, let's do it again in a little, like, okay,
But
let's do that. But it made it so bad.
TC, to your point, I'd rather be in Seattle trying to move it across a Patriot defense than try and pick up the conversation after having whiskey dick with a girl, because it's hard to.
Usually, if I have
it's-
whiskey dick, I'm so drunk. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna fall asleep.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's hard to regain the momentum that you had prior.
But you just can't take yourself seriously.
True.
You just gotta.
True.
It
Correct.
happens. It happens to
Yeah.
everyone.
How you
Laughter's the best medicine.
No, it's true. How you respond to things is everything.
So a guy is kind of like nervous the first time he's
Oh,
sex
yeah.
with a girl
Of course.
'cause they want
You want to perform too, especially if you like the girl. you don't want to like you want to make sure that you leave your imprint. Like
We're
you want her to
thinking
go
about it.
home saying
We
this was
thought about this 3-4
took me
hours
for a
before
ride.
this even happened.
So
What?
you're thinking about it 3 or 4 hours before,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah, there's build up.
Oh,
You're,
for
you're
sure.
like,
What
okay,
are
it's
you-
going down.
What are you like the
I'm
first?
in the Uber. I'm ready to rock and roll then.
Yeah. I got a boner right now.
No, but this is our question. Like, going into like, okay, you think you're gonna sleep with a girl for the first time. Like, what are you hoping? What are you hoping? What are you nervous for? Like, what are you hoping is the result? Besides, I hope I get it up. Do you hope that they're like, this is the best sex of my life? Are you trying to like, what do
You
you
just
want?
wanna-
Are you hoping that you make her come?
Well, that's
Such a-
ideal,
such
but
a
that's
We don't aim for that.
Look, if you get it, you get it.
That-
that's like
that's a
saying
pipe dream.
that's like saying you're getting an A plus on a paper. That's ideal, but you're not always.
So making a girl come is a pipe dream. It's like one day.
Yeah,
No.
I mean it's happened a few times, and I jotted it down on the calendar.
I think girls are too uncomfortable too. I don't think maybe
Yeah.
girls could come the first time. But
Yeah,
the lucky thing with girls is that we can fake it if we want, and guys really can't.
we can't fake it. There's
Yeah.
no, and it's almost it's been times too. As a guy, if you don't come, it's like almost the girl gets
And the
pissed
girl's
off.
like, wait, what?
I had a
What's
girl that
going
I was
on?
seeing years ago, and for whatever reason, I was very attracted to her. I didn't have any issues.
For
and
whatever reason.
I was very attracted to her, and we actually did hook up, and it was good, but I just couldn't come, and she got really upset, and like after like 2 or 3 times, she's like, I'm not. Like we're gonna make this happen, and then it was like, okay, well we did, and then it was like okay, I was like, okay, you're on a mission, we can figure something out. But it is almost as I think an insult to a girl if you can't, as if you
Correct.
come right away. Maybe it's almost worse.
Do guys?
But here's my thing. Like my thing is like I feel like I'm a very unselfish person, and like especially when it comes to the bed. So it's like if I come right away, no big deal. I'm going to work still.
Oh wow!
Ladies, brace
Put
yourself.
on the hard hat.
Ladies of the show here, Tyler Cameron's a workhorse. you can
He's
clip
like one of
that
the
right
7
there.
dwarfs going to
Holy
work site.
shit, Bachelorette
Cause
Nation.
it's not just about me when I'm like if we're making this agreement together to have sex. It's not just about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's about the person I'm there with. And so like, I'm gonna do everything I can to make her feel special and feel better about herself, and like not better about herself, but like enjoy herself. You know, because like.
Yep.
Yeah, I blew the load in 34 seconds. You know what I mean? But there's still, like I said, like the Seahawks blew it, right away. But you can still battle back. Like there's things that you can still do. You know.
So true. Do guys like being told what to do in bed?
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. A girl who takes charge that's pretty hot.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I like knowing what a
You're
girl
getting a little
likes.
hot over there. I can tell.
You get a little beady over here.
Because he's getting a little. Trust me, the AC's on. That's not what's doing.
I like sometimes I like a girl to tell me, but I like to know what they like. So
Right.
at first I might ask questions while we're getting hot and heavy, and then I can take charge. And
Communication is everything.
Well, that's also the problem. The problem is that every single person has different turn-ons, turn-offs, things they like, things they don't like, and the guys who come in there all like cocky, like, no, I know what to do. Like, I think it's important to tell the person what you're into and how you specifically can come. And if a guy is like, stop telling me what to do, I'm like, all right, then good luck, but like, you don't know what I like, so good fucking luck. But I think it's important, and I think both people have to know what, like we said on the we were talking about turn-offs on the show. I said, I hate when someone kisses my ear. It's disgusting. Like, when like someone licks in your ear, but people like it. But it's
love
my
your ear.
exactly. No, that's what we're saying. People
That
love
hits some buttons.
Oh,
man.
you and me both.
guys.
TJ.
Guys love it, and a lot of girls like it. Personally, I don't like it. So like, no one would know that. So if someone goes in to do that, I'm like, like, I think it's important to communicate. And I think the guys who get all butthurt when a girl tries to tell you what to do, she's not trying to, she's not saying you're doing a bad job. So I think guys take it as like, if a girl's giving direction,
But
they
so,
take it
is
personally.
that a feeling out process, or would you rather get it all out on the line before?
Well, it's not like a demand. It's not like you're saying,
Well,
But
do
here's
this,
my
do
thing.
that.
Like, I ask a lot of questions. Like I ask if I can do this, if I can do like just because like communication
as it's going or
like,
prior.
as it's going.
Interesting.
Prior, like even prior, like I mean, I asked if I can take this off just because like we're in this together. This is like we're both like you're doing this, I'm doing this. This is like not just me pushing this on you. Like this is like I'm asking every single question. I'm asking you, do you like this? Do you want that? Like then, because then they kind of feel more comfortable to say what they want and what they want to do. You know.
You prefer that way?
Communicating's hot. That's the point. And I don't think anyone should get offended if you're talking about what you want the other person to do. And I think a lot of guys have this ego about it where they feel like if a girl's saying to do something, they think they're doing it wrong, and that's not the case. It's just everyone is different.
There's no point to be. You can be macho at the bar in front of the guys. There's no point to be macho in the bed. You know what I mean? Like be free. Be be what the other person wants you to be and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think makes a girl good in bed?
Great question, Narod.
Man,
I wish.
Great question,
Narod,
Narod.
you're like a solar eclipse. You don't come around often.
No, it's
but when you do. But when you do.
But when
Robbie, we need to clip that exact line because it's so true on our show. I'll be talking, and then Narod will make a point,
She
and I'm like,
hits.
that's it.
yeah, it's groundbreaking.
TC, I'll let you take that away.
Take
What
the
makes
floor.
a girl good in bed? A girl who is like confidence is everything. Confidence is
huge.
everything, and like being comfortable too. Like that's why that's why I ask so many questions, because I want you to be comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, then it's not going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I think a girl being comfortable and being confident in what she's doing and where she's at is like the most important thing.
I've heard that so many times that girls being confident is like the number one thing.
Sometimes.
Well, because they have to know, they have to want to be there.
Right.
You know, so many girls will do it because like, oh, I want to do this because he, like, if I
I want
don't,
him
he
to
might
like
not
me.
like me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, which like that doesn't need to happen. You know what I mean? Like, because like it's not gonna be good for either of you.
Right.
You know, and so like you have to want to be there, and you have to be comfortable with what's going on.
We want all of you to answer
Yeah, we
this
do.
question. I actually
Also,
this
this
is the
section.
way I like to phrase it when I'll ask. I like asking this to people a lot. I'll say like, think of like the best sex you've ever had. Like what made it that? What made it the best?
Confidence is huge. Sometimes when you don't know what to expect and the girl kind of pushes the boundaries, that's kind of crazy too. But I will say, I'll sidebar. I feel, I don't know what you guys think, sometimes the hotter the girl, the worse the sex.
Ooh.
Because they feel like they have so much going on that you just have to bring everything to the table. And in my experiences, there's a couple girls that one was a long-term girlfriend. She was beautiful and she was all about it. And for me, that was the best sex I ever had. But there's a lot of girls who I hooked up with who were really good looking, and you have high expectations and it falls really flat. Like they just don't want to do much at all. They want you to, kind of do everything. I don't know if that's just personally, but I've found that.
The best sex I ever had was like when I was dating the girl.
Right after a Dolphins game?
No.
We've never
had sex.
For the record, we've never had sex. So I'm not offended by the statement.
But the best sex I ever had was like when I could like this is gonna sound super cheesy and super lame, but like when I could look, I was in love with my girlfriend and I could look in her eyes and I was like, I am so lucky to be here right now having sex with you. Like that was the best sex I ever had. Like
Wow.
He's so well media trained
No,
now.
I'm not. Russell Wilson was good at post-game
I remember what she
This
was
guy
wearing that
is.
night.
I'm
Locked
I remember me looking in her eyes and I even saying that to her, like I'm so lucky to be here right now, because that was like when you're making love and not just having sex.
Wow.
I tell you, I think that is a really good way to end it.
No, you didn't answer, Robbie.
I don't know what
Dustin,
to say.
you guys didn't
No,
answer.
light it on,
That one's
Dustin.
going to be raunchy compared to that.
Dustin said, "Oh, yeah, take your top two, finish."
But raunchy can be any night.
But I think you're right. I think the best sex I've had has been with my, my girlfriends at the time.
Yeah.
I think it's because we're both comfortable, we know what we like. But besides that, I would say a woman that's confident, loose, not a stiff board, vocal, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's good. The confidence thing, obviously, is something that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Robbie.
And one that's willing to experiment a little bit, where there's not a lot of.
So
yeah.
what if a girl comes? Okay, so I was.
Yeah, I said it, Dustin.
Being open. I
So
guess.
Robbie likes to experiment.
We'll leave it at that on the brilliantly.
I think that's the way to
There he
end
is.
it.
Bob likes to experiment. There
You're
you
a
have
spicy
it.
guy, Robbie.
I'm a spicy guy. What can I say? There we have it. The Brilliantly Dumb Show. Ladies, thanks as always.
We love coming on here.
Home Team Podcast. We really got to make you guys regulars. I mean, we really do. It's, like I said, I got it in the questionnaire. It came up a lot. Got the chemistry cold cuts as always in TC. I mean, making the appearance. Brown Bear, you're phenomenal as always. Stock Tip Dave, thanks for joining us as always. Dustin, you're a real beauty.
What
Next
a
time we're
treat.
gonna get a mic for you for
Hey,
sure.
let's go.
This was awesome. Home Team Podcast.
So fun.
Check
Thank
it out.
you guys.
Thanks
Come
for
on our
coming
show
on,
again
yeah.
too.
For sure. Anytime you guys say the word, you guys are the best. Not today, Bubba.
Go get him, Bubba. Love you.
Not today, Bubba. Gordy. Gordy, can I bother you for a second?